I am not finished with the box, but I just wrapped it for now, so it don't look like too much of shit. But before we get to the box, I have high phonics, as you can see in my other videos, which are garbage. But I'm going to be getting Crescendo audio, probably the 10s. I think they're like the PXVs or whatever the fuck they are. Probably put a 10 here. I'm switching this one to where the crossover is, and I'm putting an 8 there. I'm going to refiberglass the whole door, paint it, and then I'm going to put 2 Crescendo tweeters, one here, same the other side. Got the voltmeter. Can turn it on and off at any time. I have a Clarion equalizer. Love this thing. I don't know. Got new concept. I think they're the crystal clears. RCA cables. Love them joints. Oh, and also I have a speaker here. I'm gonna change that to a 6.5 Crescendo audio. And hopefully that'll be enough. I will be running 4 amps for mids and highs. They're all pretty good amps, but now for the sundowns. I don't know if you can see them. It's the box I built. It is 5 cubic feet. They're separated boxes. They're 5 cubic feet apiece, and they're ported to, I think, 26 hertz, which is kind of low. I think I'm gonna change it, but I'm gonna get another 15. These are the X versions, and I'm gonna put it in the middle right here. I was thinking about inverting the sub, but I don't know how far. It's probably gonna stick out, what, like 10 inches. I don't know if I'm gonna do that because I don't want people trying to break in my car trying to pull that fucker out. But that's the box. I just covered it real quick. Nothing special. Shit's alright though. And then for the amp that runs that is an Orion 2500. It's an old school joint. I got it wired up. It's at 0.9 ohm right now. The shit pounds. I have 1 Optima battery. I'm getting 2 more. A 380 amp Singer alternator. And a Latza runs a 0 gauge. Oh, and instead of running the battery in the front and putting 2 in the back, I'm going to put all 3 batteries right here in the trunk and run 2 0 gauges from the alternator straight back to the batteries and run 6 runs of 0 gauge to all the batteries, which is way enough for everything I'm going to be running. I'm getting a new sundown amp, probably the SCV 4000. I'm going to run it at probably 0.6 ohm, 0.64 I think it comes out to, which each sub should see about 2300 watts a piece, which is overrated, way over for the speakers, but I'll see how it sounds. If not, I'll just turn the gains down. But this amp's only recommended for 4 gauge inputs. I have 0 gauge in there. They fit. You just gotta squeeze them in real nice. But that's the system. Oh, under the hood. Like I said, with the batteries, this is going in the back. It's all a mess, these wires. But I'm going to take this out and I'm going to make a box, and this is where all my fuses are going to be. The power for the car is going to just connect to the power cable from the alternator, which is still going to be connected to the battery. But the reason I want the batteries all in the back is because when I wire them, you're supposed to do positive, well, for parallel, positive, positive, positive for 3 batteries, negative, negative, negative. If your ground's coming out on this one, your positive has to be on the other one. And Another thing I calculated is each battery is only capable of 300 amps of output, a little bit more, whatever. Let's just say 300. So a 0 gauge OFC copper is about 300 amps of power. So each battery, I'm going to have 3 runs of 0 gauge for it. And then the alternator is 380 amps. I'm going to put 2 on there. So that's what, about 5 runs of 0 gauge? So I'm just going to do 5 runs of 0 everywhere. That way I can get full power out of everything. Whatever, because I'm going to be running at least 10,000 watts. So you figure 3, 6, 9, 12. Maybe around 4, I don't know. Let's see how this bitch sounds. These Optima batteries, they sit kind of low in volts. It's sitting at 12.4, usually sits at 12.2. I think it's a little discharged. It's supposed to sit at like 12.68. .7, it's just bad. This alternator is like 20 years old. But this sounds alright, I guess. Volts. Woo. It's a little low, but can't wait to get that Singer alternator and put them 3 batteries in. And that other 15. The only problem is I need more bracing. Or not more bracing. I gotta make this fucking box bigger. I'm not finished with it. Looks like fucking dookie. But I use 2x4